Hey, this is Michelle Kapaska, and welcome to my Fearless Innovator podcast. Thank you for joining me today. My hope is to inspire, educate, and entertain you. Enjoy the show.
For a full transcript of this episode, go to fearlessinnovator.com.
My name is Michelle Kapaska, and I'm the host of the Fearless Innovator podcast. Welcome. It's very ironic that last week's episode, we talked about the power of the pivot. Well, due to overwhelming and compelling feedback I've received from my community, it's time to pivot. So pardon my mess. Several of my listeners have given me very candid feedback about my podcast. The main point I've been hearing is that you don't know who I am or what I'm doing. Well, quite frankly, I don't. As every growing podcaster before me, they too have pivoted. It's just my turn. When I first started my podcast, I was encouraged to jump in and do it because my peers felt I was a good storyteller. I was also encouraged to read Chris Krimitsos' book called Start Ugly. Basically, the book explains to just start ugly, no matter how ugly it is. Chris is also the originator of PodFest. PodFest is a conference where all styles and flavors of podcasters go to share knowledge and experience. I'll leave his link here in my show notes. This year, I was fortunate enough to attend my first PodFest that was hosted here in Tampa. All I can say is, wow, there's a lot to learn. And I walked away blown away by the content, the connections, the knowledge, and the opportunities within the podcasting family. To say I was overwhelmed would be an understatement. After attending, I knew I had to make a change, but I wasn't quite sure what to do. Then I discovered that I could attend a local podcasting meeting. So being the shy person that I am, I went. I didn't know a soul, and I found myself surrounded with well-seasoned podcasters. I didn't care. When it came time to share my story, I put it out there, and it went something like this. Look, I'm 28 episodes in. I don't know who I am. I don't have focus, and doubt is setting in, and I'm not even sure I'm fit to be a podcaster. Here's the good news, though. I have everything I need already set up. I've written a book. I have a website. I have a podcast. I just don't know how to connect them all. Clearly, I didn't feel the love. But I enjoyed sharing my story of how I went from the farm to corporate and how I quit my job to be an entrepreneur. My turn was over and it was on to the next person. I felt a little disappointed, and then I engaged with others to hear about their journeys. After the meeting, it was networking time. I met amazing people doing amazing things, and I loved hearing other success stories. I was getting ready to leave when I was approached by one of the speakers from PodFest. I learned the most from Bruce's presentation. I learned the top 20 ways to promote your podcast for free. His advice instantly gave me new energy and new focus, and now he's standing in front of me. I thought to myself, why on earth would he want to be talking to me? I listened intently with his soft-spoken voice, and he said, he really liked my story, and he was encouraging me to stick with it. We talked a bit more, and then he told me he does coaching on the side. Mind you, Bruce W., I'm sorry, Bruce, but I can't pronounce your last name, already hosts 2 podcasts. One of them is Now Hear This, with over 400 episodes, and Catholic Sports Radio, with over 150 episodes. I'll leave his links to the show in my show notes. He told me that he'd be willing to coach me. And I asked him, why me? He said, because I believe that you are a doer, and there are several in this space that have great ideas, but they never act on them. I believe you will follow up on action items and get things done. Spoken like a true project manager, I thought, and I said, oh yes, I'm a great student. I further explained, I have all the pieces. I just need guidance on how to connect them all and make this a fine-tuned oiled machine. I accepted, and we had our first in-person meeting. Bruce was very diligent with his time, and we resolved a lot of my issues in the first 1-hour meeting. I was a good student and implemented all of his changes. You all may not have noticed them yet, but you will. In my next meeting, I felt that he knew me a little bit more and got more comfortable with me because he really drilled down on me this time and provided me with great feedback. Today, I'm in the middle of making those changes, and the most significant change will be a new tagline. A new thumbnail is coming out soon, so check out my new website changes at fearlessinnovator.com. My new tagline will define who I am and what I do. So pardon my mess as I work through my thoughts and fine-tune what that will look like. Have a great weekend, everyone, and I'll see you here next week on the Fearless Innovator podcast. Thank you for listening today. I hope you enjoyed the show. If I can help you invest in your future, reach out to me at fearlessinnovator.com. Catch me later.